Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by TaylorMade.
In the shadows of downtown Atlanta, East Lake Golf Club has been the permanent home of the Tour Championship since 2004. And once again, despite a year on the PGA Tour that included postponements, cancellations, and reshuffling of events, the Fedex Cup trophy will be awarded to the winner of the Tour Championship on Labor Day Monday. And the season of point accumulation is over this week. It is all about strokes and a winner-take-all format. The top players in the field: Dustin Johnson, number 1, Jon Rahm, number 2, Justin Thomas, number 3. Not only in the Fedex Cup standings, in the world rankings. First time that has happened. 8 of the top 10 players in the world rankings are in the field, and you also have 9 players making their Tour Championship debut. Now, the leaderboard was actually put in place when the BMW Championship was decided with the strokes winner take-all format that was instituted last year, meaning Dustin Johnson starts the event at 10 under par, Rahm at 8, Justin Thomas at 7. Remember that Rory McIlroy started 5 back last year and won, fading the field going away. Todd Lewis is at East Lake. He's going to be there all week as we say good evening to him as he had a chance to catch up with the 2019 champion. Todd?
Well, Gary, this morning via social media, Rory, along with his wife Erica, officially announced the birth of their daughter, Poppy Kennedy McIlroy. She was actually born on Monday at 12:15 in the afternoon. According to the Post, both mother and daughter are great. McIlroy showed up here at East Lake on Thursday, beaming with joy and pride in regards to becoming a father for the first time. He talked about that wonderful experience and the emotions of leaving young Poppy behind to come to work here in Atlanta.
We got her home yesterday and trying to get her settled into that. You know, it's nice in the hospital. You've got so much help and all the nurses are around and they do a phenomenal job. It's just, you know, you don't appreciate that side of things as well. And then, you know, you're handed your child and they're like, see you later. And, you know, they don't come with an instruction manual and you just look, it's you know, every parent has to sort of go through it, and, you know, we're going through it. Thankfully, Erica has her mom and sister with her at the minute, so she's got plenty of help, and I feel a little better leaving and coming here to play this week.
I asked Roy to describe the moment he held young Poppy for the very first time, and he said, quote, "It's amazing holding someone you never met before and knowing this is someone you would jump in front of a train for." Now, McIlroy did do some work in the afternoon, playing a practice round, just 9 holes, the front 9. He knows this golf course very well. This is his 7th start in the Tour Championship. And, of course, he won the Tour Championship and ultimately the Fedex Cup twice in 2016 and 2019.
Now, when you look at the Fedex Cup leaders' performance at the Tour Championship, you go back to 2013 with Tiger Woods, who had that 5-win season, finished a tie for 22nd. Justin Thomas, the first last year to start with that staggered start lead, starting at 10 under par. He finished 3rd in the event, tied for 3rd and 3rd in the Fedex Cup. So, as somebody who played in the first Fedex Cup playoffs, you did that. And here we sit in 2020. What makes sense about the fact that number 1 has never gotten it done, and what doesn't?
Yeah, well, look, in the first iteration, they knew there were some problems because, you know, they thought, you know, the players that got in it thought you could play to East Lake. Well, you could if you were barely in the playoffs like I was. If I'd have gone win, 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 I could have made it to the Tour Championship. There wasn't much volatility. In fact, they had problems with players taking it off. I mean, Tiger won it without playing all the events. VJ won it without playing all the events because there was so much weight on the regular season. They changed that up in 2010, and they started to get it right. They tweaked the system over the years, but it is an anomaly that number 1 has never, the guy going in as the leader has never gone on to win this. And since 2010, that has not been the case.
Right.
And so that is a bit unusual. And then you look, too, though, it's usually guys who have had good years and are up near the top because only a couple of players, I think Jim Furyk and Bill Haas are the only 2 players that were outside the top 10 and went on to win.
And Jim didn't play in the first event because he got disqualified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but look, I think this is a good start. And last year, there was no argument that Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy were having the two best years, and those were the two players battling it out the last day, and Rory played better than everybody else.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter the staggered start. He started 5 behind. He ended up 5 ahead. So, I mean, he shot 13 under for the week, ended up 18 under was his total score, but he still shot 13 under. Keep in mind, the average winning score at the Tour Championship since they redid the course in 2007 is 10 under par. So Rory shot 13 under, and that's one of the best scores that's been shot since they redid it. So for somebody to do it from all the way back, like at even par, they would have to shoot equivalent of a score never shot since they have redone this golf course. I would say something in the range of 20 under.
They also would have to get so much help from the entire field.
They would.
Because you have all those players in front of you.
But that being said, I would love to see it sometime. I think that would give it more staying power to this. You know, if it's always the top guys that end up there at the end, you know, you're going to have a guy. You're going to have that long shot that comes along and wins this every now and then to make it a truly volatile playoff. And I think that they've got the start right. Maybe they shrink the shots down a little bit to change that, but I don't know. I think it looks pretty good so far.
Well, back in the late 70s, early 80s, Steve Burkowski used to throw Hail Marys. They called them Big Bens.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, that would be the equivalent. If somebody does it at even par, and who knows, they might just do it. Now, with respect to what has happened over the first 2 events, well, this guy just went and ran away from everybody at the Northern Trust, and then the grind to get into that playoff with Jon Rahm has produced an aggregate total of 34 under par, 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points better than Rahm, and they are 1 and 2. Now, Dustin Johnson earlier today gave his thoughts to our Todd Lewis.
DJ, you're going to start this championship with the lead. Do you feel like a target this week?
Well, I mean, anytime you start at front, I think you're kind of a target, but it's still, you know, it's one of those things where it's, you know, it's still 4 rounds to go. It's not like I'm leading after day 1 or, you know, I'm leading before we start. So, you know, it's a different kind of mindset. Even for me, you know, obviously I know I started in the lead, but, you know, I still got to go out and put 4 really good rounds together if I want to hold up that Fedex Cup at the end of this tournament.
How would you describe your play over the last few weeks?
I feel like I'm playing really good. I feel like every part of my game is solid. I got a lot of confidence in it, and yeah, I mean, I like where the game's at right now.
Was it a struggle to get back to that level?
Yeah, it was. It's always a struggle to get back to where you feel, you know, very confident in what you're doing. But I mean, I knew, you know, coming out of our break that we had, you know, I didn't practice much, but that was on purpose. You know, I wanted to let my body heal up. You know, I had surgery last fall, so even in the few events that I played early on, you know, I wasn't 100%. My knee wasn't 100%, so, you know, I took that break and used it to try to strengthen my knee and get everything back to, you know, where I was feeling 100%, and then work on the game. And so I knew coming out I was going to struggle a little bit, which was fine. I was okay with that, you know, but I knew it was going to get better. Eventually, it had to. Couldn't get any worse. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's a lot easier to improve when everything feels good.
It was interesting. I did an informal poll with some players, and I asked them, if a player out here on the PGA Tour is on their game, who is the most difficult to beat? And a lot of them pointed at you. Do you feel like when you are playing like you are right now that you do have a bit of an intimidation factor out here?
I mean, I've been out here for long enough. I think I've won enough times where it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess a little bit for sure. I feel like if I play my best that I don't think anyone can beat me.
As you rack up wins or hold a trophy, do you have a different appreciation at this stage in your life of doing these things than you did maybe 10 years ago?
I do appreciate it, and you know, because I know how difficult it is, and you know, you can ask anyone. It's hard to win out here. You know, the guys and the level of talent that's out here is unbelievable, and you know, there's so many guys that are really good out here. So you know, it's difficult to put those 4 rounds together to beat everyone that's playing in the golf tournament. So I think too, as I get older and, having kids, and, I appreciate the wins a little bit more. And it's pretty cool when, you have your kids asking you, Dad, did you win the trophy this week? And you're like, I did, finally.
You're kind of leading me to your legacy. I mean, plenty of golf to play for you, but when you do hang up the sand wedge, what do you want people to think about you, Dustin Johnson, as a player?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I still got a few more years to play before I think about hanging it up. I figure I got about 10 more really good years in me, and then I'm done.
Finally, you have an impressive resume already. Should be a first-year Hall of Fame induction. But winning the Fedex Cup, having that on your resume, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, for me, it means a lot, just because it's something that I haven't done. It's something that I want to do. It's something that I want to have on my resume when I do decide to hang up the clubs. Actually, I don't think I'll ever hang them up, but as soon as I decide not to grind every day to be out here, yeah, I mean, it's something that I really do want to win. If being a Fedex Cup champion is something that is definitely high on my priority list.
Well, he has not won the Tour Championship, but he has won the Fedex Cup. Finished tied for third last year. He was fresh off his first major championship at the PGA in 2017. Well, earlier today, the Fedex Cup champion of that year sat down with our Todd Lewis.
Justin, you said last year that you felt a bit uncomfortable starting this championship with the lead. Now you're starting at 3 back. What's your attitude?
It's going to probably feel a little bit more like a normal golf tournament for me. It just was odd. I don't really know how to describe it. It just was different, It's you'd never get to the first fairway with a lead, or you're never putting your ball on the tee in the ground on Thursday with the lead. It's just something that doesn't happen. So in that regard, it was just a little different. But I learned my lesson. Obviously, I would love to be in that situation this year, but I'm 3 back and doing a little bit more chasing. So hopefully it'll play to my advantage.
I know you'd like to win the Fedex Cup championship again, obviously the Tour championship as well. Where does Player of the Year rank as far as putting that on your resume?
Yeah, it'd be huge. It's something, I feel like if you get that done, the other things kind of take care of themselves. It's usually an effect of a good cause. I've played well over the course of the year to have a really good chance to win Player of the Year, and I feel like if I do it, I can do or hope to do this week, then hopefully it won't be a discussion.
Yeah, I know it's out of your hands, but do you feel like if you win the Fedex Cup that you are the Player of the Year?
I definitely am in my eyes. Obviously, I'm not the one that's doing all the voting, but and there's a lot of players that have played really well to make this week a very big week for that discussion. But I mean, I know how I played this year, and I know how consistently well I've played. But at the end of the day, this is all that's over with, and this is the one I need to worry about.
This is a time to obviously focus on winning this championship, but it's also a time maybe for at least us and you possibly to reflect on this season. It's an odd season, but as you look back, what do you take away from it?
Yeah, I think odd season is an understatement. It's if somehow a season could go by quicker than it did this year. This is finishing up my 6th year on the PGA Tour, which is just crazy, but it's been short for everybody. It's been weird for everybody, so it's been adjusting or trying to make adjustments to planning, to preparing. And, here we are with one more, and then we start another one.
How do you feel like you performed during all of this hysteria?
Pretty well. I mean, there's definitely things that I wish that I would have done better, but overall I've played very consistent, very solid, given myself a lot of chance to win some tournaments. I would have liked to, won a couple more since coming back from the quarantine, but I've done plenty in terms of getting myself ready for this time and getting myself ready for the U.S. Open and then eventually for the Masters. And again, you're just trying to, you're trying to make sure you're doing this once you get this time of year and peaking as opposed to trying to hang on.
Finally, you've done so much in your brief career out here on the PGA Tour. Have we seen the best of Justin Thomas yet?
I know this isn't the best of me in terms of if it's going to happen or not. That is a huge unknown, and that's the hard part and the great part about this sport. It's you never know if I'll win another golf tournament again, and that's just the reality of it. I'd like to think and hope that I'll win 40, 50, 60 more times, but at the end of the day, I might not win another tournament, and that's just the reality of it. But the only thing I can control is how I prepare and doing all the appropriate things to make sure that when I do tee it up on Thursday or Friday this week, that I've given myself the best chance that I can.